Hi everyone, it's Michelle from Craft with MV again. We're going to be doing this card today. It's mostly watercolor. The stamp set I'm using is the Help Me Grow. So I'm going to be using this stamp, and thanks. The thing that's great about this stamp is that there's, you can build on it. Here, let me show you. It's open here. I don't know if you can see that. So you can put your sentiment in there and stamp everything at once. So I'm using that stamp and I use the thanks. So when I've already done it, so what I did is that was all one piece that I stamped at one time. And then I used the Rose Garden Thinlits label to cut out this sentiment. So that's this, the Rose Garden Thinlits. And I used, sorry I didn't have this out. I used that one right there for the label. Okay. So. Okay, time to get started. Put that off to the side. Paper we're going to be using today is Cucumber Crush. 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to be using Watermelon Wonder paper, sorry about that, at 5 1/4 by 4. And then I'm using watercolor paper at 5 by 3 3/4. Yeah, 5 by 3 3/4. The inks we're going to be using are the Watermelon Wonder, Cucumber Crush, and Delightful Dijon. I'm sorry. Delightful Dijon. And we're going to be using Memento ink to stamp our image. Now I've gone ahead and stamped the image on the watercolor paper so that it's dry. You need to just let the Memento ink dry a little bit before you start watercoloring. So I've already done that. So now we're going to start watercoloring. First, if you press it down before you open it, it'll give you that little pool of color there. So now we're just going to start watercoloring in our leaves. And you want some color contrast. So you can have darker sides, lighter sides. I would always make sure when you start on the same side, so that side's always the darkest, so you kind of have some consistency there with the look. And it doesn't need to be perfect. Flowers never look the same all the time. So you can have a little color. But again, like I said, I would always start, because that's going to be your darker side. Okay, you're just going to make your way around. Okay, now I'll just do little buds. Sorry, I'm so quiet. I'm concentrating. Okay. So now we're done with that. We're going to let that dry a little bit while we put our stem on. So we're going to be using the Cucumber Crush. Again, push down. Just want to clean our pen of the color. Okay. Now we're going to be doing the stems. Let's go with a light hand right down the center. There we go. Oh, one other thing I forgot is we're going to be using the Trio punch to punch out the corners. I'll show you that in a second. Turn this around so I don't lay my hand on what's wet. Okay. That's it for Cucumber Crush. Now we're going to be using the Delightful Dijon. Again, press that center and open it up. Okay. This I'm using for the centers of the flowers. Now, if you did want to very lightly pull up some color, you could do that to the center of the flowers from the just want to make sure it's not too heavy, just a light touch. There you go. Okay, I think that's enough. Give it a little extra color there. And the brush, if you just push the water through, it'll clean it out. There you go. Okay, so we're done with the Delightful Dijon. I pre-stamped this. I stamped it in the Watermelon Wonder, the things, and I cut it out already, just so you know. Here's the trio punch. It's got 3 different sides that you can punch out. That's why it's a trio punch. I use this one, which gives me this look. There's this one, which gives you just an edge look. And then this is for a ribbon, to make a slot for a ribbon. So you can, cut a slot in and then run your ribbon through. So this is the trio punch, and I'm going to be using, like I said, this side, which is going to give me that effect. And all you do is you just line it up in here, press down, line it up, press down, line it up, press down, line it up, push it in, press it down. Okay, there we go with that. This side I rounded, but I think I'm just going to leave this square. Let's see how that looks this time. Okay, so I'm going to put fast fuse on here. Where's my fast fuse? Here we go. When you use fast fuse, you use it, and then when you get to the end, kind of stop and do a check thing. Take a check. Check. A little closer. Check. Check. Stop and check. Okay. Put that on here. Oh, that's what they call it, fast fuse. Okay. Now I'm going to be using the card this way. So we're going to put Dimensionals on the back here. While I have them, I'm going to be putting them on here. Oops, you know what I have to do here yet? I need to sponge that. You know me, I want to sponge all the time, so I'm going to sponge with the Watermelon Mambo, the edge of my sentiment. And I meant to do the edge of the card too, which is too late now, but put it over here so I can use it. Okay, I've finished sponging the sentiment, and I'm ready to place it on the card. I put those dots on the back. So now I'm going to place it on the card. I did get a little schmutz on that. The camera shut down and I got some schmutz on there. So there you go. Just place it in the center. There you go. This is, of course, I told you this has got the square edges. The original one I did had rounded edges. So whichever you prefer. There you go. And if you like this card, let me know. If you like what I do, please subscribe to my channel. Below I've listed all the products that I use for this card and my website where they can be purchased. I also include my blog down there. And my blog has a complete listing of the items used plus full instructions. And I also have a PDF file on my blog that you can print out the instructions. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you need a demonstrator, I'd be happy to be your demonstrator.